of time management. You wouldn't be in this class if you were, right? So, who here is good at multitasking? I got one person multitasker. Anybody else? All right. So, multitasking and time management go hand to hand, right? No. It's the opposite. It's oil and water. Because time management is based on finishing one thing at one time and getting it right the first time, right? And a lot of people think, well, I can do more than one thing at a time. But whenever you're working on one thing at a time, you notice you're spending time to finish this one. That means you're paying attention to one thing at one time. You're not jumping back and forth, because what happens is a lot of times you will actually make mistakes. And that's not what we're about. We're here to make sure that our time management, our time is used properly. Make sense? So today we're going to be talking about how to become more effective with time management. I don't know if you want to dim the lights or.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, that'd be a little easier to see. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Perfect. Today, the importance of time management. Time management are skills essential because few, if any, of us have enough time for everything that's asked of us, right? You can do this because by understanding the difference between urgent and important, we help prioritize your time more effectively. Make sense? Urgent and important. And you're probably thinking in your head right now, hold on, isn't that the same kind of thing? You know. Also remember, folks, this class is interactive. If you have questions, say it. Okay? Don't be afraid to say something. Also, if you look at the very front of your handout, if you notice it says Good Paths on the very front. I created this training for a program that Goodwill has for their employees. It's called Good Path Program. It's for employees that want to become in management or grow in management. So what I do is I usually work with employees to help them become more successful in management. So this is what I usually, when I go to Nashville and I train them on, this is what they have. So it gives you an idea. You're going through the same training as they are. Make sense? So, urgent, right? Tasks demand your immediate attention, but whatever you actually give them, when it comes to attention, may not matter, right? So urgent is based on each person, right? He may think that urgent is, this got to be get done now, and you're looking at it going, hold on, you can do that later. It's not a big deal, right? Each person sees it differently. So you will know, and what you do is you make lists, right? So, important tasks matter. I didn't say they don't matter, right? And not doing them can be serious consequences for you or others. You're thinking, why wouldn't that be urgent? If important has that kind of stance, right, that can have consequences. What it is that urgent is now. Say you're at work, or you've had this happen in your life, where you're working on something, and your boss walks up and says, hey, I need to have you stop doing that and have you do this. And then you stop what you're doing and you're moving forward. So that's considered urgent. Not to say that stuff that you weren't working on wasn't important and needed to be done, but it's urgent, okay? And it's also that we're gonna learn during this program and this training is how to say no, okay? But properly. There's times when you have to say no to be effective in time management. Make sense? So we're also talking about individual judgments. Back to what I said, each person is different when they consider urgent and important. The urgency and importance of the task is not absolute. What does that mean, you folks?
It's one for one person and different for another one.
Right, but it's not absolute, exactly. And absolute meaning that it may not be urgent, it may be urgent now, but something might be more urgent, so which makes it maybe not important, maybe less important, because what they do is they may have changed something. If they tell you, hey, I need you to take an engine out of a car, okay? And you're going in, you're starting, and they hold on, the customer changed their mind. They want you to change the exhaust. The engine is no longer an urgency, right? It's not even in the importance. So it's not absolute. That can change at any moment, right? Only you can decide what you really think it's important or urgent. Some people, for example, prefer to wait until they are asked it the second time to make sure that it's right. So it's always good. It's kind of what we call trust but verify, right? Okay, you wanted me to do this, right? Okay, just to make sure. All right. Or before they started doing it, of course, if there's never asked again, they never started to work. See, the thing is, sometimes people wait. And usually that's called what?
Procrastination.
Exactly. And we're all human, and sometimes we think, oh, I can get that done in like 5 minutes. I have other things I can do. I can get back to it. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, you're looking at the clock and you go, oh, I gotta have that done. And you see people rush to get stuff done, and it's not done right, or there's mistakes, right? You're not effectively using your time, correct? So, good time management requires daily practice in prioritizing tasks and organizing them in a way that you can save that time and achieve more. That's important because sometimes we've got a lot on our plate, right? We gotta go to town, we gotta go grocery shopping, then we gotta go pay a bill, and then we gotta go visit a friend in the hospital, and then we gotta know what to do, right? We gotta prioritize what's next. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna prioritize it based on what is the highest importance, right? If you can't see your friend until noon, go grocery shopping early in the morning. If you need to go pay a bill, but nobody opens till 9, so do grocery shopping first. As you're coming back, you can pay your bill and then drop off the groceries and then such and so on. Make sense? And one thing that we were always trained, and we trained on when it came to corporate retail, was that you always go, if you had to visit a store, you had to go visit somewhere, you always go to the furthest one. And then you work your way back home. You don't do the closest one and work your way out, because that's a longer drive coming home, right? So either way, you're making that trip, but you're making it more effective. That's time management. Make sense? So make sure you're setting above strategies in a few weeks, and you can see how it helps you. You want to make sure that you set up those strategies. You make a game plan on what is going on. Make that to-do list, right? I know a lot, if you guys are married or whatever, you always have the honey-do lists that you would give out. That, you know, hey, I need to get this done today, I need to mow the lawn, do this, or hey, I need to paint this, or do whatever. That's part of it. It's setting those goals and telling them what they need to have done. As you can see on the screen here, this is a really popular way of writing something down. It's urgent, not urgent, important, and not important, right? As you can see, you know, the do is important tasks need to be done right away. And not so urgent is but not important tasks. Any questions on any of that? Are you awake? I didn't put you to sleep this early. But here are 10 practices that I put together that are very effective when it comes to time management, okay? This will help you improve your time management skills. Time management skills take time to develop. Now, not everybody's great at time management, not everybody can pick it up quick, and not everybody works through it really quick. It takes time. It takes, you know, your willingness to learn it, right? You know, again, it's different for each person to find out what's best for them. Delegating tasks, okay? Delegating tasks is huge. It is common for all of us to take on more tasks than are capable of completing. Who's here a pleaser? You are? Okay. Anybody else here a pleaser? If I say, hey, can you do this for me? I'd really appreciate it. You would just say, yeah, sure, why not, right? Knowing that you had a lot of other stuff to do, right? You would take on that extra task, right? We gotta be careful of that, because then what happens is we take on a lot. And what usually happens when that happens?
Something suffers.
Right. And what else?
Stress, yeah.
There you go. Stress, suffer, something else suffers from it. What else? What do you think? What can happen if you take on way too much, more than what you need?
I don't get any of it done then.
Yeah. Well, what it is you get overwhelmed, right? And again, suffering, and then, you know, nothing gets done, right? This can often result in stress or burnout. What happens is you know, there's a lot of companies out there that will work you to death. And what they do is they expect go 24/7, or whatever you need to do is like you're going in, you go to work, as soon as you clock in, it's go to the last minute you clock out, boom, you go home. By the you get home, you don't even feel like eating sometimes. You're just so tired, you just look at that bed and go, yeah, that's where I need to be, right? Then eventually it gets to the point when you wake up in the morning, you're feeling more tired than normal, and you're like, I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to go. I don't even want to go, you know, and that's not good, okay? This not only frees up your time for you, but it helps the team, you know, members feel more of an integral piece of the puzzle. What it is that where you work as a team as well, sometimes you don't need to do everything yourself. If you got anybody that can help you, that's where teamwork steps in, right? Ask for help. Don't be afraid to say, I can't do all this. I need assistance. And you don't want to write that yet, right? He is stressed out, right? Of course, number 2, prioritizing work. Before you start today, make a list of tasks that need to be immediate attention. I do that every morning. I get to work about 15 minutes early. I pull in, I sit, I think about what's my game plan for the day, what needs to be done. Because I know it's gonna be waiting for me at that front door. As soon as I walk in, I need to have stuff done. But until then, I'm gonna make a little game plan of what I need. Kind of like, you know, and things change, right? We've all made plans and then things change last minute. You know, make sure the tasks, you know, you can consume, and some of these tasks, you know, unimportant tasks can consume much of your precious time. And we tend to offer these too much of your energy because of it's easier or less, right? We do not need our energy drained because we're focusing on things that aren't really necessary. A lot of us, what we do is we look at if you have a more difficult task and you have an easier task, well, we'll just knock out the easy ones first and then we'll get the harder ones later. But you notice that it takes a little longer on the easier ones than you thought. So that harder one is taking even longer and being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, correct? The right way to do it is hit that heavy one, hit the hard one first. Because that one's going to be taking the most of your time. That is going to take the most of your energy. And then after you're done with that one, the ones that are lesser of tasks, they're going to fly right through. You can just flow. And you won't feel as stressed because you want to get rid of the stressed part of it first. Because then you can take a breath and take a little break and say, okay, these other ones, instead of taking 2 to 3 hours, they may take 30 to 45 minutes. I can take myself a little breath, take a little break, step back, let it go, right? Loose off, right? And then start on to the next task. That's the way to do it, right? Once you know where to put your energy, you will start getting things done in order that works for you and your schedule. What does that mean? What does that mean, folks?
What's important to you?
Right? So, you know, what it does is it helps you schedule things, and then the more you do it, it becomes second nature, right? If you have a schedule, who here has a schedule every morning that you get up? I get up, I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, or I jump in the shower, or whatever, right? But usually some people have schedules. They know what they need to do, right? You get up, you know, turn on the coffee maker, gotta have that coffee in the morning or whatever, and then you have that morning, you know, routine. It's the same concept because you've taught yourself that routine, correct? It's the same thing when it comes to time management, it's part of the prioritizing, okay? And then it becomes second nature to you. Prioritizing your important tasks, keep yourself focused. That's hard. We're human. There's things that are around you or things that happen that take away that focus. Or, you know what? I didn't get enough sleep last night. I really don't want to do this today. And you kind of slide into the office or somewhere where you're at, and you're like a slug. You kind of scoot across the floor. You know, you hadn't had enough coffee. You hadn't got woke up yet. That you make sure that you're awake, right? So number 3, create a schedule. All right? Who's here great making schedules, scheduling stuff? like to-do lists and stuff. I'm getting nobody's hands up on that one.
Actually, I have one for, I keep a date book for important, doctor's appointments and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have anything that I absolutely have to do every day,
Right, right, so, but what you do is you,
except get myself out of bed.
there you go, and schedule yourself, right, to go to doctor's appointments or anything else, right? I mean, carry a planner or notebook, have something that's around if you can, or use your phone. Our cell phones, we can use these,
I do both.
or both, there you go. You know, it's, one fails, the other one's there, right?
That's right.
That's an old military concept, you know. But the thing is, all the tasks that you know you have in mind, of course, bringing about all check off all the items, complete them, and give yourself a sense of accomplishment. So, who here gets filled? You know, like, you have a lot of stuff. Say you're at home, you have to clean like the kitchen, maybe the bathrooms, like that. Once you get all that done, you feel accomplished. You feel good about it. You're like, you know what? I went out, I paid the bills, I came home, I washed the dishes or whatever, I watched the dog, I may have, I may have done a run in the morning or something, you know, and then when you're done, you're like, I feel pretty good today. I got a lot accomplished.
Well, that's like me this morning. I did laundry over the weekend, but I didn't get it all, got most of it folded,
Yeah,
but not the socks. Okay, and I knew that I needed to separate it
mm-hmm.
because I don't have a lot of storage space in my camper. And that's why I took an hour and a half to do that this morning,
Yeah,
instead of just getting up and going.
right, instead of saying, oh, I'll get to it later, right?
Yeah,
And then it just stays there and it gets more wrinklier, and then you're like, oh, what's dirty? Where's the dirty pile now, right?
no,
But once you go
I-
through it-
I've got one bag, dirty clothes go in it when they come off, but
There you
the
go.
other is, I got two small closets, so my clothes get folded, they don't get hung.
Right,
It was just the fact that I was taking them out of the bags that I had taken them to the laundry in and putting them in the baskets where I could find, and matching shirts and pants and stuff like that together.
sure.
So, I felt really good when I got done.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel good to get stuff accomplished and get it completed?
Yeah.
You know, anything. I mean, it could be something as, you know, folding clothes or washing clothes and folding it and getting it up, put up. Or like I say, or just getting up and saying, I'm gonna hold myself accountable and go to the gym. You know, and go to the gym and yeah, you're like, oh man, this always hurts after I'm done. But whenever you're done, yeah, you may hurt, but the next day you get up and you're like, I feel better. I feel better, you know? It's like, you know, David, he rides his bike. I mean, he told me, oh, I'm doing 20 miles and doing something, I'm going, I mean, I want to do it, but I'm going to find excuses not to, right? I will do it though. But the thing is though, time management doesn't always focus on, as you were saying, at work. It's also at home and also personal. So what's that mean? Work, home, and personal. And somebody describe each one of those?
Well, work is things that they've given you to work on.
Yeah, you're at work,
Okay.
right? You're in a location,
Location other
right?
than your home.
Mhm.
Home would be like sweeping the floor, washing dishes, putting things away.
Right,
Personal is stuff that, okay, I need to make this appointment, so this is personal to me. And I get on the phone, cause I got a daughter that keeps trying to tell me I'm too old to be living in a camper and she's gonna put me in a nursing home, and I go, I do this, I don't meet the criteria.
there you go. And say, how much do you do? That's what you asked.
Well, she works full-time, so.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I've heard that before, right? But the way I see it, I agree with you, that's a great definition. The way I see it is work is at work. When you're out, you're working for somebody else. Home is you're there, maybe spend time with your family, your kids, whatever, or doing things around the home. But personal is me time. That is me time. That is my escape.
Mhm.
Because I don't need to always focus on what's going on at home. I get to focus on what I want to do. And if you have a partner at home, let them know, I need me time. You know, I have I've had people come in and I made friends with them and stuff like that. They come in and they'll walk into the Goodwill and they'll wave and say hi. And I was like, oh, so you didn't bring your husband? Nope, it's my time to go out. And they'll go shopping by themselves because that's me time. That's them to get away and separate and be able to feel, you know, release from anything, right? It allows them to do what they want to do and how they want to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And there are some people that don't like me time. They like being in that group or with that other individual, and that's fine. But you need that time away. You need that personal time to rebuild, right? Number 4, set up the deadlines, right? We all know we have deadlines in our lives. They come out of nowhere, right? When you have a task at hand, of course, set a realistic deadline. So if a boss or a friend or a family member or something says, hey, I need you to get this done for me. Can you do this for me? When can you have this done? Be realistic. Don't look at it and say, oh, I can do that in 45 minutes. Remember, egos are not part of time management, right? And when you notice 45 minutes is about up and you're about halfway through and you're like, oh boy, right? No one wants to be looked at as a liar. Be honest. This might take some time. Let me get back with you and let me start working on it and I'll let you know. Trust me, management or people around you understand that because they feel the same way, right? Okay, and then make sure that whenever you set that deadline, like it says up there, stick to it. Hold yourself accountable for that deadline. Don't make excuses why you didn't get it done, right? Once you set a deadline, it may be helpful to write on a sticky note. Put it near you or your workspace. I love sticky notes. I'm telling you what, when I first did this job, I was all about sticky notes. My boss now used to work with me. He moved up to be, my manager, and he used to pick on me all the time how many sticky notes I had around. It was around my screens and everything. I was like, I got to know when that happens this time. And it's all about learning, those things are nice, planner books, stuff like that. This would give you a visual cues and keep you on tasks. Because, we're not perfect. I know my memory is not the greatest, so sometimes I forget things. That's why I have things, I put it in our calendar, and what it does is it lets me know. My Google Calendar, it'll actually ding me. And guess what? This is what's going on today, right? Or I have sticky notes that I put up there the day before, and I say, okay, I need to be here, I need to do this, I need to meet with this person or whatever. I put it up there, so when I come in the morning, I sit down, boom, it's right there. Oh, I need to add that to my agenda. I forgot about that, right? Because we get so much going on sometimes in our lives that we tend to forget, and we forget to, kind of put the pieces together properly. And that's normal. We're human. And if you're not that way, man, I need to spend some time with you, right? But okay. This is a big one. I heard this word earlier, right? Number 5, overcoming procrastination, right? Someone read that for me. Don't be afraid.
Procrastination is one of the things that has a negative effect on productivity. It can result in wasting essential time and energy. It could be a major problem in both your career and personal life.
Makes sense, doesn't it? A lot of people think that, it's okay to, I'll just put it off tomorrow. They'll be all right. I mean, yeah, they may get mad, but, right? We've all been there, right?
That's laziness.
That's procrastination and laziness, right? But knowing to get it done now is huge. See, that's one thing my dad taught me. My dad was an ex-Marine sergeant, so you know how that was, right? It was get it done now so you can play later. Pay your bills now, and then you can spend your money on what else you want to do if you have the money, right? Always budget, right? Procrastination doesn't help you, but of course we're human. We do procrastinate. Sometimes we'll sit there and we're like, all right, this is something I need to get done, but you know what? I need to get up and walk around. That's not procrastination. That's taking a little break. That's stepping away from it because maybe you're overwhelmed by it. Maybe there's a lot going on. And sometimes you just need to step away, and we'll go over that on here as well. But procrastination is where you, oh, man, I've got a week to get this done. I can do it in an hour. You know, blah, right? I remember when my boss first became my boss, and we had to do a big write-up on where we're gonna be focusing on in the communities and what we're gonna do, and they call it a beat. It's a long story. And it hadn't been done by the end of the month. He gave this assignment beginning of the month for all the career coaches, okay? That first day, I turned mine in. And he was like, well, did you not go over it? Did you not think it through? I said, you go over it and you tell me what I might be missing. And he went through it and he goes, you know it's not due until by the end of the month. I said, I thought I'm just going to get it done because you know what? I don't want this sitting on my head or else I forget about it because I have a lot going on. He looked at it and he read it and stuff like that. He said, okay, I get it. All right, cool. Thanks for having it done. Appreciate it. And I'm known as that guy that will get it done now. I'm known, if it doesn't get done, there's a reason for it. There's a big reason, right? And that's what you need to be. It's just knock it out. Just get it done. If you know it can be done in an hour, you knock it out. Prove it to yourself. I can get this done in an hour. Then when you're done, you're done. Then look at me, folding clothes. You know it needs to be done. It only takes about an hour. Procrastination. And then your next day when you wake up, you're like, I gotta do this now. Right? But when you had the energy and you were motivated.
My problem was, because I live in the camper.
Yeah.
Anything that I don't get put away, when I go to bed at night, has to be taken off the bed, set in front of the door, just so I can get in the bed. So this morning when I got up, I said, this is ridiculous. Do it, get it done, and get it put away.
There you go. And then you had that warm fuzzies afterwards, right? And that's part of it, right? So what she did was she procrastinated a little bit, and she woke up in the morning and she looked at it and she goes, I should have just done that. You know, we're all like that. Don't feel bad if you're that way, right? All right, deal with stress wisely. Now, here is the strong part when it comes to time management, is being able to deal with stress. A lot of people don't think that's part of time management. Stress is huge. Okay, we get stressed over. Some people get stressed easily. Some can take on a lot of stuff, and people look at it and go, I don't see how you're doing it, right? But stress often occurs when we accept more work than we can accomplish. And that's not just work, that's talking about home or anything else. And that's where I asked you guys, who here is a yes man, right? Or a yes person, right? And we had a couple of hands going, yeah, sure. You know, I'll say yes. I can't say no, right? But of course, this results in the body starts to feel tired all the time, right? Which affects your productivity. So when you start feeling stressed more and more, and you're like, why is this stressing me? I've done this a million times. Or why is this irritating me? It's because you're taking on way too much, and what you're used to doing can affect on that. Stress comes in various forms for different people. It can cause productivity you have to find ways to deal with the stress, including go outside, take a walk, right? Exercise. Practice meditation if you like doing that. Call up a friend, right? Participate in your favorite hobby or sports. Come see my trainings, right? Listen to your favorite music. What else how does everybody else handle stress? What is your getaway? It's not on that list. What is your getaway? Or is it on that list? What is it?
I get away, get on my bike on weekend, I ride my bike and I relax.
Yeah, it gets out of its head, right? You just let everything else fall off your head and you just go for a ride.
Well, I go
Right.
play my Call of Duty, so I shoot people.
There you go. Go online, kill people online, right?
I read.
Reading. That's a great escape, right? These are called escapes, right? So what is yours?
Any entertainment, watching a ball game or TV program.
Yeah. See, you're not thinking about the things that stressed you out, right?
Right.
What about you?
Well, I read, but I set a timer how long I can read.
There you go. Time management.
I mean, if I get a book, 2 hours might go by.
2, try 4.
Well,
I feel you on that. I'm a gamer myself. I'm an online gamer myself, and there are some games that I call life suckers. And you'll say, oh no, I'm gonna spend an hour, maybe 2 hours. I'll get off here by 5 o'clock tonight. And you're playing and stuff like that, and look at your watch at 7:30. You're like, what just happened? Right?
No, you're so much into it, you don't really.
And you got your friends online, you got all this stuff that's going on, and I have a few more minutes, I can do this, and then, I gotta do this, and then eventually, I'm not effective in my time management, right? That's why you set your timer, you say, if I don't, I'm gonna continue to read that book until it just literally falls apart in my hand, right?
That's my problem.
And that's huge, and that's why we got a huge library here, and you come and get books on whenever you want, plug in, right? So, the keys to find what works for you, become lowering your stress level. Of course, we gotta do the whole woo-saw, right? Try to find your center, find your medium, find what makes it easier for you, right? So, yeah, that's right. Number 7, avoid multitasking, okay? Most of us feel multitasking is an efficient way to get things done, but in truth, this will do better than what in truth is that we do better when we focus on one and concentrate on one thing at one time, right? See, that's huge. You wonder why they put blinders on horses? Is because they want them to focus and going in one direction, right? If they didn't, that horse could find everything around them to figure out where to go, right? It's the same thing we have to do ourselves mentally. We got to put those blinders on. We know things need to be done. Get up, do it. Once you start doing it, get it done. And you'll find out that you're thinking in your head, I really don't want to go and clean that bathroom. I know it's clean, I keep it clean, but somehow it gets dirty. I don't know how, whatever happens. I really don't want to do it. Once you get in there, start cleaning and stuff, and you find yourself in there for maybe an hour or whatever, and you're done, you look at it, and then you get those warm fuzzies, right? And you're like, wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Or I need to clean my car out, or I need to go and wash my car, or I need to go grocery shopping. I personally hate grocery shopping, but I like to eat. So I go and grocery shop, right? So, you just, once you do it, you get home, you have all your groceries, you put them up, and you're like, okay, I'm satisfied, I'm good, right? It's the same way with multitasking and with time management. You don't want to do it, okay? This way you can do better, at what you're doing. Wait until you finish one thing before you start another. Work on one thing and finish it. Remember, now this is not based on just, I can only do one thing at one time. Remember, you said that urgent and important. That's what this is talking about, urgent and important, not just focusing on one thing. Okay? You'll be surprised on how much you can get done, you're able to get completed, right? And that's what I was talking about. You'll look at the time, you're like, I thought that would take 2 hours, but it only took 45 minutes to an hour. Holy smokes, that wasn't that bad, and it looks really good. And then your dog runs in out from outside and it's got muddy feet, right? It's happened. Somebody laughed, I knew it. Number 8, start early. Bet you guys didn't think that was part of time management, did you? Most successful people have one thing in common. They start early every day. I'm not talking about get up at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, unless that's early for you, unless that's where you want to get up. Give yourself time to sit, think, plan for today. Set those plans. Find out what you need to do. Make that to-do list, that urgent and not so important list, right? If you're not a morning person, try to wake up at least 30 minutes early. That's huge, because you'll notice then it becomes a habit and you're waking up. I am the worst at that. See, again, back to my dad being a military man, and we, as kids, we were always taught to get up early. I'm always up 4 to 5 a.m. every day. And I tell myself, okay, tomorrow's my day off, I'm sleeping in. Guess what time I get up?
That work.
4 to 5 a.m., right? It's there, right? And then you wake up, you're like screaming at the world, why, right? it does help. It helps with your mind flow. Get up, have that coffee, have that breakfast, have that shower, whatever it takes to get yourself motivated. And you'll find that maybe before you get to work, or whatever you're doing, you put the clothes up. You can wash some dishes. Maybe you can take the dog out for a little run or a walk or do something. And then when you get back, you're ready to go for the day. You're already up and you're motivated and you're like, wow, my day's longer now. Because we all are looking for more time. I don't care. When you're younger, you don't care, you want to burn time. When you're starting to get older, you always want more time because the days seem to be going faster. Weeks and months and years are just flying by. This is a way to give yourself more time to get things done and be more effective, right? Take regular breaks. We talked about that, right? Whenever you find yourself feeling tired, stressed, take a little 10 to 15 minute break. Step away from it and forget about it. Try to get it out of your head. Take a little walk. If you're at work, go outside, take a breath, walk around the building, or just go and just take a small break. If you're a smoker, go smoke some. If you're not, go out, just stand outside and get a little air. Or just walk around the office saying hi to everybody. Find things, get away from it. Step away, right? Too much stress can take a toll on a person's body. It actually can break down your body. And have, not just stress, you get sick easily. You start hating things, you start getting frustrated, you become angry, and then things happen. Schedule your breaks throughout the day. That's hard to do sometimes. Sometimes you say, you know what, I'm gonna eat lunch at 12 o'clock today. Something comes up, you don't get to take lunch till 1. But take that lunch. Don't be that person like I used to be. I used to work through my lunches. Take the lunch. Take that time. That's your time, me time, right? That is your time. It helps you relax and get back your energy that you've lost because stress drains you. It's designed to drain you. It's a little demon, I call it, that will eat your life, eat your brains, eat everything from you, right? And of course, number 10, what does that say?
Learn to say no.
Learn to say no. Many people worry about saying no. It makes them look selfish, but in truth, saying no is one of the best ways to take care of yourself and your time. Now, there's the right way of saying no, and there's the wrong way of saying no, folks. Just saying no, sometimes it's not productive, right? So say you're at work or you're at home, and you're working on something for somebody, you're working on something, and you say you're cleaning the house, you're vacuuming, so that your husband, wife, or whatever comes up and says, hey, while you're at it, can you go ahead and hit those windows for me? I really appreciate it because I'm going to do the outside if you do the inside. And when you're done with that, I'll help you do the dishes, but can you start on the dishes for me? Then you start going, I don't have enough to do, right? But if you say, which one would you rather do first? Do you want me to do the dishes with you, or do you want to do the windows first? No, what do you think? I say let's do dishes first and then I can do the windows. Okay. You're saying no, but in the right way. Make sense? You're giving them the option. Like if you're at work, you're sending out, you're doing a report or something at work, and your boss calls you or comes in and says, hey, I really need you to send out some emails. I need you to send out some emails for me right now. Okay, so I'm working on this report. Do you want me to stop what I'm doing here and work on your emails? Yes, okay. My understanding is that. Fine, I'm going to stop this. I'll catch back up later. It will be later than normal. What was expected, right? Okay, yeah, I'm good with that. You're saying no. You're saying, I'm going to stop this, right? You're putting it on them. You're saying, no, I can't do that. But if you want me to do this, I'm happy to stop this. I'll go on to the next part. And then that stress level walks off you. Because you can come back to this later and he's not stressed by it. Now, if he says, no, I still need it within that hour, but you need to send out these emails too, you say, well, I can't do that. I don't have the time. I'm halfway through this. It's going to take the whole hour for me to finish this project. I can't do that. Can you find somebody else to help out or to do that? That's another way of saying no. But it's a positive way and saying, nope, I can't. Nope, ain't going to happen. Right? You notice everybody's kind of like, I wouldn't want to be talked to like that, right? So we got to be able to respond back properly. That's part of saying no. It's okay to say no. Now, final thoughts. Anybody have any questions about what you've learned so far about time management? Any comments, concerns? Anything you want to add?
I've had bosses in the past that would say, no, this has gotta be done first and then do this, but you say, which one's got the higher priority?
Mm-hmm.
And they look at me as if I'm crazy. Use your own discretion, but
Right.
he's not giving me that true option.
Right. And that's one thing I learned when I was younger was I was always worried about if I don't get it done or I don't have it, right, I'm gonna get in trouble, right? I'm gonna make somebody mad. If I'm focusing on the one thing and using my time management properly, I will get it done. And if I don't get it done, I can show them that I've been consistently working on it, not working on 5 things at one time. And then it's easier to say I'm sorry than to give excuses why you didn't do it, right? That's why I very rarely, unless it's something really huge, I don't call my boss, ask permission to do things. I do it. And if he says, well, you should have called me or notified me, I say, oh, I'm sorry, I'll do that next time. Okay, I get it. As long as it's legit and you're telling them, that the reason why, not just because I wanted to do it this way, it makes more sense to me. No, that ain't gonna roll over well, right? It's always, well, this is why I did it. What do you think? Okay, well, I get it, yeah, I see it. And that's part of it.
I think what I'm getting out of this is, I have my morning routine and I make a schedule,
Mm-hmm.
but I might start on something and I leave that room to go to another room to get something, to put something away. I get distracted there and start on something else. Now, how do you keep from getting distracted and going, and so nothing gets finished?
It's the same concept we're talking about, holding yourself accountable, right? No, that's why I don't work from home, right? So, but when it comes to, if I need something, say I'm cleaning my bathroom at home, and I know I need to go and grab some paper towels or in the kitchen, I'll walk and grab a paper towel and just walk right back. I try not to find anything else to keep my attention. And a lot of times what I do, and it may help for you, and again, we'll go back to this slide. Is what helps you is, I usually, when I have a lot of stuff going on that I need to have done now, I'll put on a headset. Listen to music. Reason why? The white noise, that's what they call it. You don't have to have it loud or whatever, just noise in your ear keeps you focused. And that will help you get focused on your tasks. If you, like you said, you have a lot of tasks, you're in one room, you go in the other room, something else gets in your mind and you start to work on that and you forget about what you're doing there. You're like, oh crap, I meant to go back to this. If you keep like headsets, some people use that on purpose. They will put on headsets and go. You see people, listening to music as they're jogging. That's what that is. That's white noise. That keeps them focused on their run, keeps them focused on their breath, and keeps them focused on what they're doing. Or when they're working out, they put on their headset, they listen to music or something, or an audio tape or something, right? And it's like if you drive long distances, a lot of people will put on audio tapes or audiobooks, right? They'll listen to podcasts and stuff like that now. It keeps their focus, because sometimes just by listening to that, it keeps you focused on which way you're going. Try something like that, unless you have somebody yelling in your ear. But other than that though, try to hold yourself accountable by going in each room and making sure. Now, if you know something's in that room that you need to be putting in this room, whatever, try moving it closer to that room. Less distance. Make sense? Like cleaning material, my cleaning material is in my bathroom. Guess where that goes? It goes right to my bathroom, most cases, right? And if I need to clean my kitchen, I go in the bathroom, pick it up, and I go back in there.
I was just gonna mention the cell phone thing, just turn the volume off or just turn the phone off. It's It's a
Mhm.
big part of everybody's. They tend to, the phone can be a distraction.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. Just let people know.
And I've cut off a lot of notifications where it beeps and you'll pick it up and look at it, and that's a distraction right there. You're doing something else, but then the phone goes off and it ruins everything.
I mean, I've got myself tuned to the point, like if you were in my office and you and I are talking one-on-one and it's business and I'm helping you, the phone will ring, that phone will ring. Unless it's something I need to do, I won't answer that phone will ring. They'll leave a message or whatever, because my attention's on you. Now, if we're about done and we're just sitting there and maybe we're just talking about the weather or something like that, yeah, I'll answer the phone. I'll say, excuse me a second. Or something like that, right? But it's focusing on one thing at one time to get things done right? And it's tough, like you said, going from one room to the other and you're finding things, oh, I need to do this over here too. Or somebody else brings up something and stuff. Try to hold yourself accountable of going in, getting the material, getting what you need, and then go back to the other room. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's extremely tough. And that's, we're not perfect. Again, if you were, I'm hiring you on. You're coming over to my house, I'm gonna have you teach me stuff, right? That's why I have a hard time with doing that myself. Anything else, folks? Any other final thoughts? How does this training helping you? How did it help you?
Well, I tend to do a lot better if I just focus on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
There have been many times where I've had multiple things going on, and it's very difficult for me to get all this stuff done. But now that I'm getting older, I'm taking my time and just focusing on one thing at a time.
Exactly. And you notice that the older you get, the more you have to focus on getting things done. Otherwise, it's like, what was I just doing? I knew I had to go do something else. And that's where sticky notes, stuff like that. Don't be afraid if you don't have sticky notes or whatever, write on a piece of paper and stick it right on your TV set. Or something like that, or somewhere where it just annoyed the crap out of you, right? Where you see it and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta do that today. I almost forgot I had to do that.
Those those refrigerator magnet
The whiteboards.
the dry erase
Yes, yes.
marker. I'll write something on that dry erase marker, like a sticky note kind
Mm-hmm.
and that helps me also.
Exactly, and do that. Everybody has something different, right? You have that dry erase board. Those are great. I had one in my fridge until something happened, just fell off. And then, those little things can make a difference on how you stay focused and what you need to have done. Maybe you have something that needs to be done Saturday, but it's only one thing, right? But it's not until 1 o'clock. So what you do is you plan out your day, say it's a get together. Maybe it's a dinner with friends, right? You're not gonna wait until 12:30 to get dressed, are you? No, you're gonna put out your gear or whatever you're gonna wear, your clothes, and you're gonna get it ready, and you're gonna get to the point where that you are, you're ready to go by at least 12 o'clock. And you're gonna say, okay, it's gonna take me 10 to 15 minutes or so to get there. I probably wanna get going because traffic might be rough, because that is around lunchtime. And so you're gonna plan your trip on how longer it takes to get there, and if you get there 10 minutes early or whatever, you're there and you'll notice your friends are there 10 minutes early because they did the exact same thing, right? So it's all about holding yourself accountable, setting those goals, don't overdo yourself, work on one thing at one time, and setting those urgent in importance. Or something maybe that's not so urgent, right? That maybe that it's something that it just doesn't need to be focused on right now. And that could be something that you can set yourself a sticky note or a note or write on your whiteboards or whatever and have it set for later. Because a lot of times, a lot of people think that I need to have that done now. And you're like, wait, hold on, you've got 2 months before that needs to be done. So let's wait a little bit and let's see how it evaluated, right? Like, I got an email this weekend. I was online with my friends and I was reading the email off because I was sitting there talking on Discord with them, and they were offering me a lot of money for my car. They're offering me, over $15,000 for my car trade-in through Honda, and they were going to give me over 120% more of Kelley Blue Book. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, that's pretty darn good for my car. I've got a rare car. I've got a Honda Insight. And they've been trying, every time I go and get it, I hate getting oil changes through them because they're always hitting me up to sell it and get rid of it. They want my car. And it was funny when I went on there and I looked at the different Kelley Blue Books, stuff like that. But then 30 minutes later, I get a call from Honda. I didn't answer the call because, you know why? I'm not gonna be pressured in to run down there to sell my car. I'll do it whenever I'm ready to do it. And when it's time, right? And that's what you gotta do. So, what we're gonna do is talk about when it's clear about what you're doing, it makes things focus, and of course, more, less time completed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little exercise. I think somebody already else fell asleep on us. And we're gonna do an exercise, we'll get everybody involved. So what we'll do, and don't fall asleep, I know that happens, is that we're gonna close our eyes. Whenever you feel 1 minute is passed, you'll raise your hand and open your eyes and look around. Okay? Everybody ready? Okay, go. Remember, close your eyes. When you think a minute has passed, raise your hand and look around the room. Remember, don't fall asleep on me. There we go. Okay. Okay. What is this exercise? What's it about? Spencer, tell me what this exercise is about.
It's about your perception of time.
Exactly. You notice that when you pulled your hand up, you were 5 minutes over. You two in the back, put your hand up, you were 30 seconds over. You were almost 2 minutes.
Wow.
Everybody has different perception of time. I've even had people, and it was funny because I train this class in Nashville with a group of 30 to 50 people. And you'll see people going, they're counting, right? Or they're listening to their watch, they'll sit there and do this. And they'll hear click, 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 right? They think it's cheating, but they find themselves going over, right? Everybody has a different perception of time, as you guys saw. You were first, and he was first, second, third, and then fourth, right? And what it does is it says that what you think could be done in an hour may take somebody else 30 minutes or longer. Make sense? So you folks can use that. I always tell everybody to go, if you're at friends' house, parties, get-togethers with your family, and like a Christmas or whatever, get them all around and do that exercise. But you don't close your eyes, you watch the clock, right? And see who is closest to one minute. Or you can do 5 minutes. The longer the time, the harder it becomes, and people start getting 5 minutes above or below or whatever, right? So setting that time, it's a great little thing that shows the difference between time and time perceptions. All right, any other questions? All right, folks, I appreciate it. Again, I'm Sean, I'm with Goodwill Career Solutions. I'll give you a card as well. And again, we're the mission side of Goodwill. We're here to help you. If there's any other trainings you would like to see out here at the library, let me know, let Spencer know. And what we do is we can get together, we'll see what we can do about trying to get it done. And then if you got friends, family members, bring them along. Because it's always good stuff we learned, right? So, because, it's all about interacting, it's all about working together and, creating a better community. Okay, black wheels. All right, how'd I do? Did I do okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks folks for coming. Don't forget your paperwork. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.